Hi guys, hope everyone is doing really well today. Today I've got some interesting items. A wonderful item what was made by my good friend Graeme, Forest Blythe Tools, and he made me the most wonderful item which I'm going to show you, and a wonderful item for Alex, and also some items I picked up recently, including a couple of wonderful wrenches. So I'm going to talk about those for a moment. So the first thing and the most fabulous thing is this absolutely exquisite wooden rule. It was originally a Stanley Rules and Level company, 1895 I believe. Fantastic. Oh, fantastic, that wasn't very good. And I bought two of these, this size and a slightly bigger one, and gave them to my good friend Graeme as a present when he lost his brother. And I wanted to do something nice for Graeme, as he's such a wonderful man, and he was after these to complete his cabinet, or put towards his cabinet which he was making, and I have featured some of the tools from Graeme's in the past videos. And Graeme has made me this wonderful item. He really struggled to get the level, because it's a 13mm length level for this one. And he's sourced all the parts, and he's made this exquisite, absolutely exquisite, and put it in the post and said Merry Christmas or Happy Birthday, Ben. And I'm so grateful, Graeme. I've been dealing with a lot recently in my personal life, and it was really a touching gift, and I'll treasure it for the rest of my life. Graeme has made some wonderful items and sent them me, including these other three items. He made me a Timmins wrench, and put my name on it, which was absolutely was a wonderful gift, out of a beautiful ebony wood and brass. I can show you what an original one would look like. So this is an original Timmins from 1840, and he made me this one, which I think is magnificent. Graeme specializes in planes, and he makes wonderful planes. He entered this one into a competition, and he gave me this one. It's absolutely exquisite. And Graeme made this one. Look at this wonderful sort of peening underneath, where he's peened them into the wonderful shape, and he also put my name on it. So everything I got from Graeme, and I've got many items from Graeme, I'll cherish immensely. Also, we were having a chat last time, me, Alex and Graeme met up, which was a great day. We had fish and chips, and I think Alex wanted one of these, which Graeme obliged and made, and this was a long time ago, and he remembered. Now what this is off a Stanley Rules and Level. There's a tool which is a 7-in-1 tool, and this is an exact replica which Graeme has made. Absolutely exquisite, unbelievable quality, and obviously Graeme is super talented. Obviously it goes sort of at the back, and sort of, you know, locks in place on the Stanley Rule and Level. So this will go to Alex. Super lucky boy. That'll go in Alex's pile for when he next comes, or when I next do a ship. But Graeme, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for these this level. I will treasure it for the rest of my life. I'll try and put a link to Graeme's Instagram below, and you can check out some of the amazing things he's made. He's just unbelievably talented and a super clever guy. He also gave me this as a gift, and it's the most beautiful carved wooden handle mallet. Don't know how he does it. He's just unbelievably skilled, and Graeme's been going through a heck of a lot recently, as well as I have this week, last month. So this is anyway, everything of Graeme's is just the best. He's as good as anybody there is in the world, full stop. Thank you so much, Graeme. Now I'm going to try and talk about the other items I picked up recently. First, I was on Facebook, and I saw a wonderful post of Georgian pipe tampers. And a pipe tamper, for anyone who doesn't know, you have the pipe, the tobacco, and you need something to push compress the tobacco down before you light it. and these are Georgian, 200 years old, and there was a collection of them on eBay, and there's some wonderful, so this is probably Julius Caesar, but obviously it'll be Georgian, and these are just little things to compress the tobacco. I do have a couple of them, have this nice Georgian leg, which is also a seal, so you can put wax on a letter and it'll have your initials, and it's also a pipe tamper. So is this. Sometimes they're like crisscrossed at the top and sometimes they're not, but this one is a seal and a pipe tamper, so it's a multi-tool. And there's a few of them, different Georgian figures, I'm sure important men of their day, and different. This one looks like he's got a tobacco, holding a pipe tobacco, so you can see obviously it's for sometimes they were clay pipes and sometimes they were more ornate depending on the wealth of the person, but you can see the clay pipe you'd need to compress the tobacco with, and the tool itself. So I've got a few examples. These are a little bit rubbed, but I just like these ones with the faces. I bought it for these three. I thought they were quite magnificent. Probably took someone a long time to find these and collect them, so I thought it was a nice collection, and I thought I'd add it to my collection. Now, as for other items I picked up, I did find this magnificent Theo Ibbotson Brothers Sheffield wonderful wrench. Now, this is a handy key wrench, and I think Handy Key made them, and they were quite a nice tool indeed, from mid 1880s, and there's two sizes, and they were made by Neil's company, and they're really fine tools. I do have several of them in my collection with different manufacturers' makers marks. You can see here this one is made for this company, Sheffield, and this one is marked for this company, which you can like Colombian Go Ahead or something, and this one has been made for Triumph motorcycles. But this one here, which I picked up, is quite magnificent indeed. Is made obviously by Theo Ibbotson Brothers, and I do have a small collection of different. This is a rare back rack spanner, as is this one, and I do have the original one, which here you can see Theo Thomas Ibbotson and Company, 1850s, 1860s, and this is a improved cylinder wrench. Really nice example, and I do have one of those, which I was lucky enough to pick up recently. So in total, I have this wonderful cylinder wrench. I'm not really kind of zoomed in, and I've got two Theo Sheffield standard single bar coach wrenches, and I do have these two now as well. So I have 5 of this manufacturer or this branded wrench, which is a great addition. So I was super pleased. Sorry about the small space, I probably should have done it on zoomed out, but anyway, is what it is. I was quite pleased with that. And then next thing I got, which I was super pleased about, was this Manchester spanner, and this is a completely new design I've never seen before ever. It's a Manchester spanner, and it has the pin wrench and the open end, and the other one known, I believe I've got the only one which is marked Manchester spanner. This one is extremely rare, and now I found this patent design. Now there is a pin spanner on the other Manchester spanner, there is a pin spanner at the bottom. So now I believe I have the only 3 full set. I only know of this one, and I only know of this one. There's several of this design, but this is a really nice addition to my Manchester spanner drawer. I was super pleased with that. When maybe twice a year you might get something as good as that, and it wasn't a lot of money, so I was really fortunate to pick that up. The Manchester spanner is not that old really, it's around the 1890s, but you don't see them very often, and the one in the book is the one in my possession. So super cool. I also picked up this double-ended German wrench. Usually they are marked like this, ideal, DPR, but sometimes you do get them unbranded, but I've never seen a 10-inch unbranded before, so this is a nice addition. I have the larger 15-inch and the 10-inch in that design, and I have the 8 and the 10-inch in that design, so it's a great addition to the collection, so I was quite pleased with that one. Then I got this wonderful French wrenches on eBay, a number 20 and a number 23, which are rather nice. And then I do have a number 28, which has a solid handle, and a 27, which is a bit chunkier. And I do have a slightly different number 20 than the patent. So they have different numbers, but the 23 is a new addition and size to my collection of French ones. So I was quite pleased with that. Rather nice. And then the 20 I already have in the drawer, but still very, very nice. So I've got some rather wonderful items, I dare say, recently. I've been very fortunate. My favourite item is this wonderful gift from my good friend Graeme, which I will try and find a space and treasure. I think it's exquisite. And also this Manchester spanner is spectacular, and a very, very, very rare thing indeed. I didn't know it existed, and there's no evidence of it. So it must have been made in tiny numbers, and maybe the only one known, I don't know. But yeah, so I think I've waffled on quite a long time this video. I'm going to put them away in the drawers, and then we'll call it quits. Thanks for watching. Right guys, so we've found a home for these little Georgian pipe tampers. I do like legs and stuff, and I do like Georgian items. I just think they've just got something about them, a bit of style, bit of sort of panache. This is Georgian as well. You can tell just the quality of it, just really nice things. So, and I think this is Georgian as well, this little thing here. So I just like nice little leggy items, and Georgian items. What that is, that's a silver coin. 1921, so quite modern. So this is my collection of Manchester spanners, probably or certainly the best in the world. And to find a new example, when Ron and Roger collected for probably 115, 20 years each and never found an example, to get a new example of a Manchester spanner, a new model, is wonderful. So I was super pleased with that one. So here's my French drawer, or English Clyburn drawer, goes on and on and on and on up there. And I've got these little number 27, which is a new example of these little French ones, and I think that's nice. New additions, pretty pleased. So we're in my double-ended drawer with double-ended wrenches, and we've got this ideal, rather nice example, and then we've got this new size. You can see how big the big one is. It's absolutely humongous thing. Super heavy duty. So rather pleased with that. So got three sizes with that one, but not a full set. I think we're missing the large of that design and the small of that design, but we'll get there. It takes time. So we've got my main wall here, which I enjoy looking at, and we've got the wonderful Fred Dibner plaque, which was originally on Fred's roller and was taken off by Fred to show more of the engine. I think that plaque was on a cover, and it's rather nice. And then up here we've got the wonderful new level with Graeme's hammer, and wonderful. Graeme also made this wonderful Stanley badge for me, number 1, for the employee with the yeah, Graeme's just magical. Thank you so much, Graeme. It really cheered me up, and I'll treasure it forever. It's a real nice addition. All Graeme's stuff goes pride of place. He's made some wonderful planes. This is Forest Blythe, Graeme's tool, and so is this one. This is the first one I ever bought off Graeme, and what a magnificent plane it is. Exquisite, absolutely exquisite. I'll never part with it as long as I'm breathing. But thank you, Graeme. I'm so grateful. So last but certainly not least, we've got this wonderful handy key wrench, which is a nice example of its type. And then we've got this Bits and Brothers, so that can go in the Bits and Brother drawer. I don't keep the wedge slide wrench back rack. I keep it with its type, but these are all together. So I've got 5 versions now. Sorry I've not answered anybody's questions or anybody's messages on YouTube, anyone's comments, shall I say. Been super busy with what's going on, but I'll try to get to them soon. All right, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching if you got this far. Bye.